welcome you to Ecologistics Masterclass. Today we are going to take the induction class for those of us who really want to know how to assess grants. So the topic is Grant Access Program. My name is Paul Abolo. You need to know a little bit more about me. I am the Dean of the Faculty for Pristine, Ecologistics Masterclass. Well, you need to know a little bit more. I originally started off as a quantity surveyor. Then I went into business management, had my MBA, and subsequently a doctorate in environmental and social sustainability. What qualifies me really to present this lesson is that I also have strategic finance from the Harvard Business School. And I have also been a part of strategic finance for Nigeria. I was a social safeguard specialist for the green bonds. The two issuance of the green bonds, I handled the safeguard specialist for it. I am also the country expert for StampTech on an AFDB project for NDC implementation that's ongoing. And I've been involved in so many other initiatives in renewable energy finance for state governments and for private sector. Without having to waste time, we need to go straight into the induction class today. I bet you, I think I can assure you, we are going to have so much fun. So please have your notepads, have your pens. It's very important to have your note and your pen. And this is going to be for maybe an hour or less, but I need you to listen attentively to this induction class. After this induction class, you will determine whether you want to take the main class or not, but this induction class will help you decide exactly what you need to do. The Grant Access Program, the induction class. Let's look at the world today. There are so many things happening in the world today, and we are filled with questions. So many questions, more questions that we can answer. That is the world that we live in. And those questions, more than half of them relate to problems. We've tried to be a little bit psychedelic about the problems, and then we decide to call them challenges. That's good, but the fact remains that those are problems. And in the world today, we have problems in several dimensions. Let's look at a few of the problems today in the world. There is poverty, which is a major issue, and everyone is talking about taking 100,000 people out of poverty, SDG 1's poverty, and the rest of it. And there is hunger, it's also in the SDGs. There are refugees and displacements in different parts of the world. Climate change, there's flooding, and there is desertification, and there is drought. So these are some of the problems, but one of the problems that we look at is jobs. People claim that there is no job, and really there are no jobs. So several problems in the world, and now we are dealing with COVID-19. We don't know what other problems we may need to face in the future, but the reality is that the world is filled with problems, and problems will continue. Problems are a part of living, a part of the world. But let's look at how we view the problems. How you see the problem depends on your mindset. I need you to listen to this again. How you view the problems of the world, personal problems, problems in business, problems in families depend on the mindset. More than 50% of the people who view that are frustrated. They are disappointed. They are heartbroken. People are dissatisfied. Fear has even been introduced into the equation, like we can see recently with COVID-19. However, there are people like you and I who are out to find solutions to the problems. So we embark on the solutions. However, when we have defined and developed and designed our solution package, we run into a problem, which means that there are problems even in solutions. And one of the most glaring problems that we go through are the problems with financing or funding. So there are funding issues, and what we'll meet with once we are out to solve a problem is that funding is scarce. That is the first thing that hits us. Funding is scarce. So what do we do when funding is scarce? No, it's not funding that is scarce, it's the information that is scarce. So the information that is scarce because people don't know where to find funding. So I'm going to take you through 5 steps to the destination. 5 steps to the destination, please. You can write them down. We're going to take 5 steps to get to our destination. The barrier between us and our destination is the funding. So let's see how we're going to deal with this barrier. 1, we are going to look at the mindset for exploring funding opportunities. I don't want to tell you yet that there are funds there, but I want us to go through the process to see the funding opportunities. Number 2, we are going to go through how to identify the grants, back to the grants, that are suitable for your business, that are suitable for your solution, that are suitable for your initiatives, for the programs, that are suitable for the package you have developed to tackle one of the many world problems. We are going to go through how to apply for the grants and get it. The issue is not just applying, but we need to apply and be successful. And then we are going to look at how to avoid common mistakes that are done by so many people in assessing grants. And finally, which is not going to be a class, we are going to provide an after-program support for you. We are going to keep you informed of every grant that comes in. Every day there are new grants that drop into our box. And then we're also going to provide you support, not only to make sure that you are able to assess the first grant, but you are able to manage that grant and be able to step on that to assess more grants. So let's quickly look at the mindset. Again, we went through the mindset. Usually when people are prepared and they develop a package or an initiative or a program to solve a problem, they run into another problem like we discussed earlier. And that problem takes them to a journey to nowhere. There are many people who are on a journey, but they are not going anywhere because they are not finding solutions. And sometimes they now go back into that mindset and they get frustrated, but that is not it. We are not going to get frustrated. We are going on a journey. We are going to look at the 2 mindsets for exploring funding opportunity. There's one that's a locked mindset, and one is a productive mindset. The productive mindset keeps growing. So if you assess 10,000 in grants today, it keeps growing and growing and growing. The next you are 1050, the next you assess 100, and like that. It's not stopping. So that's the mindset we need to look at. But let us do a quick case study. This is Lona Ruto. Lona Ruto is from Kenya, and let us look at her story. Lona used to work in the bank, and the bank began to have issues. She was not satisfied with the job. The job was being threatened. She was putting in undue hours, and she decided to look around to find a problem that she is going to address. And she saw the problem of waste management. In different parts of the world, most countries have problems with waste management. She identified this problem and she decided to do something about it. So she took action. She quit her job to start a waste recycling business. What she did was to find a technology that will convert waste to alternative material for timber. However, there was a problem with meeting her dream. Again, funding. Funding is the problem that everybody go through. Everybody, when I started off this business, I had challenges with funding, and I had to walk through the process to get the funding. And going through the process means you need to really look deep and see what's available there. So what Leona did was she looked into literature, she looked into information, and she found out that every year, hundreds of international and local organizations support businesses that tackle issues such as environmental pollution, illiteracy, disease, poverty, and other special problems. So there are international and local organizations that support businesses, initiatives, NGOs that focus on problems. So they usually provide grants, donations, subsidies, loans, equity, and even training and advice. They provide capacity building and all of that. So she identified a location where she could find answers to her problem. And even in this solution, there is a problem. The problem is that many African entrepreneurs do not know about these funding opportunities. And as a result, they don't apply it. If you're a Nigerian, many Nigerians do not know. Kenyans know more than Nigerians. Rwandans know more than Nigerians about these funding opportunities. South Africans do know more about these opportunities. However, this is what she did. In 2010, she applied for and won a 6,000 seed award fund. That same year, she didn't stop. She went in, she was encouraged. She won a grant award of 12,700 for the ES Globe Safricom Foundation. She went ahead later on and she kept getting awards and grants to support her business. She won a $12,000 business plan competition by the Katia Women's Initiative. And most recently, she got 495,000 US dollars equity investment from Blue Heaven Initiative and Opus Foundation. But it's all started from her mind. That is why this induction course is very important. It needs to start from your mind. There are many negative information out there telling you you can't get it. People will tell you they have applied. People will tell you the process is long. People will tell you that it's difficult. Yes, it's difficult. That something is difficult does not mean that it cannot be done. What it means is that you have to put in an extra effort to get it done. So we need to look at what Lorna did. Lorna practiced what we call appreciative intelligence. Lorna practiced what we call appreciative intelligence. And let's look at the 4 items what she did. 1, she had the ability to perceive. The first thing you must do is to develop the ability to perceive the positive, something that is positive, that is inherent in the problems that you are dealing with, and that is generative, that has life. You need to look at the potential in that given situation. No matter what situation you find yourself in, no matter what situation you're looking at, look for the potential in it that is positive. I'll give you an example. I have a friend who is an albino, and he said that when he realized that he was being discriminated for being an albino, he realized that being an albino was an opportunity, because wherever he went, people will identify him. So when he realized what an opportunity, he reframed it to an opportunity. And today he is quite successful. We need to have an ability to reframe, like I said, no matter what the situation is, reframe it from the positive perspective, reframe it from the positive possibilities. And then you need to train your eyes so that your eyes will see the possibilities in that difficult situation, the possibilities in that confusion, the possibilities in that problem. We have to train your eyes continuously to identify those opportunities. You need to act purposely. You need to act purposefully to be able to transform that potential into positive outcomes. You need to act purposefully. you need to do. Number 4, you need to have the ability to engage in creating actions for desired outcomes. You need to have the ability to engage in creating actions for desired outcomes. That means you need to develop, one, that willingness to engage. You need to engage in such a way that you'll be focused onto your desired outcomes. So let's look at the site. What are you seeing? Or what is it that Lona saw? So this is what Lona did. Number 1, she tried to appreciate things. She created for the future, and she engaged multiple intelligence. So if you look at things from various perspectives, and those perspectives have to be positive. Your perspectives have to be positive. Now let's look at the keywords of what she did. 1, she engaged in reframing. She reframed the difficulties she had in her job to opportunities to launch out and do something greater. She reframed the challenges she had with financing to look for access for grants to finance her business. She reframed the problems of waste management collection instead of talking about it and doing nothing. Then she appreciated the positive that is inherent in those challenges. She saw the potentials, she saw the possibilities, and she saw the positiveness in it. And then she began to imagine in the future how this is going to unfold. You need to imagine your future and see how what you're doing is going to unfold into a bigger thing. Where I am today, I imagined that years ago, and I'm already imagining where I'm going to be years to come. So by so doing, then you can come up with positive outcomes. So quickly, let's look at this. What Lona did was she looked at what she had, which is what we are going to do today, what we have, and how we are going to use what we have to attract what is out there. So what do we have? People have problems, people have challenges. In Nigeria, in different parts of the world, there are problems. Today, there is COVID-19. How do we use it to attract what is out there? Because the solution is right out there. So number 1, how do we engage? How do we engage? There are 2 ways people want to engage. 1, some people engage unreasonably with expectations. Some engage with despair. They are just like, you know what? Let me just try this. Let me just get into this for doing sake. No. So quickly, there are people who want to engage right away. They want to do what they need to do right away. They want to engage right away, you know? They want to engage right away. And then some people want it big immediately. So they don't want to go through the time and through the processes of doing what they need to do. They are in a hurry. And then some people want the grants immediately. Hold on 1 second, please. I'm hearing Kenneth. His audio is too loud. Please go ahead. We had a little glitch. We are back online. Some people want to get it at first try. We are not giving you any assurance that if you engage with the grants, that at the first to get it. No. That when they do the first application, that they will get it at the first try. Sure, there are people who get a first try, but go and ask Lona. Nobody knows how many times she tried before she got it. And some think that grants are easy to get. It's easy to get if you know what to do. But if you don't know what to do, it's not easy to get. If you don't engage with the right people, it's not easy to get. And then some people think that it can never happen. Some think that everyone owes them. Once I do the application, I'm supposed to get it. Some things that everyone's obliged to help you. Some even have fear of failure. And some just believe that funding is hard to get. So we need to determine exactly what level where we belong. Do we have unreasonable expectation, or do we act in despair? So it may take some time, but it needs careful planning and steps. You need to identify what problems you want to solve. You don't just ask for a grant without identifying the problems you want to solve. You need to identify where is your project document. I have met many people who want a grant, and I ask them, what's your project document? They say they don't have a project document. They say, I ask them, what's your focus? What's the problem you want to solve? They don't know. What's your vision? They don't know. What's your mission? They don't know. So what do you want? I want a grant. I don't understand how that works. So part of what you need to do is, first of all, when you get back home, in clear terms, identify the problems you want to solve. Where is your project document? If you don't have it, put up a project document, just what is in your mind, what you want to do, how you want to do it, how you want to make impact. And then you need to have a mindset that you get used to rejection. So if you apply one, there are thousands of people applying and you are rejected. Reframe that rejection to a process. A couple of times I have tried so many things, it didn't work. I reframed it to a process. So, but the good news is this: funding is abundant. For those who know how to assess it, funding is abundant. I know it, and you'll get to know it very soon. Funds are looking for problems. Funds are everywhere looking for problems, and the problems are waiting for funding. So all you need to do is to hook onto the problems, and then let the funds that are looking for the problems meet the problems, and then you have the funds that you need. Or you can reframe it and say, you know what, problems are looking for funding. Therefore, funding is waiting for problems. So I'll take you through 4 ways of looking at these things. 1, there are 4 different ways by which organizations actually push funds into the environment. 1, they want to make a social impact, because people ask, why are they giving us grants? Why would somebody give me grants? Why would somebody give me subsidies? Why would somebody give me competition money? No, there are organizations that are looking to make impact. Their problem is that they want to make impact. So you identify their problems, identify the specific impacts they want to make, and then they will give you the grants. There are NGOs, there are philanthropists, there are corporate organizations willing to invest in entrepreneurs like you and I, willing to invest in NGOs, willing to invest in innovations, willing to invest in initiatives, willing to invest in several things. And there are platforms through which they provide this as grants, as prize money, as donations, as competition, prizes, etc. The second one is this: it's foreign policy. Every international organization, they spend billions of dollars yearly to fund interventions, initiatives, innovations, programs, projects, usually in developing countries. Even our embassies here, the consulates here, their home countries tell them, look, we are unable to get people asking for grants. So even in these countries, find out what the challenges are and find out people who are willing to solve the problems and provide them the support. So foreign policy supports grants. Innovation contests. Now we live in the age of abundance. People are looking for innovation. Big organizations are looking for incubation and acceleration programs for innovation. So if you have an innovation, develop it, go out there, you will find organizations that are looking to identify and nurture top talents, because they want to maintain the lead. They don't want their business to stop where it is. And the only way they can do it is by getting more innovative. And perhaps you have that innovation they are looking for. You can imagine how Facebook acquired Instagram and WhatsApp. They did that because they saw a new innovation that will add value to what they are doing. And the fourth one is the government intervention. Governments understand that medium and small scale industries are the lifeline of national economy. So if you position well to solve a problem, a national problem, you will get the support that you need. So quickly, let's look at your ability to access grants. So what is your ability to access grants? It depends on how you are able to sell your vision. How are you able to sell your vision? If people do not understand what your vision is, why would they give you the money to solve their problems? It's in your vision that they will see that your vision has built in it how to solve that problem that they are looking to solve. And they will give the money to you. And the way to do it is to apply yourself to appreciative intelligence, which we just discussed, what Leona did. So great. Now let me ask you the question. Are you ready to access the grants? If you are ready to access the grants, then let's go on a journey to a destination right now and not to nowhere. So if you have been frustrated and you've been trying to do this and you're not making progress, get prepared and come with me and let's go on this journey. One, to go on this journey, we need to identify your current location. So you need to identify where you are right now. You don't embark on a journey without identifying where you are. We need to identify your current location. It's like when you are trying to book an Uber or Bolt, you want to identify your current location. If they don't know your current location, they can't pick you up to take you to your destination. So I have 4 different locations here, and you need to tell me exactly where you are. By the next class, I will need to know where you are, because once I know where you are, I will be able to identify the solution for you. Number 1, are you at an idea or pre-startup stage? There are many people who are in the idea or the pre-startup stage, but they don't know it and they think that they are at the final stage. So they are asking for grants that are meant for mature organizations, for mature initiatives, and they are not asking for grants that are made for ideas or for pre-startup. So what we need to do that, I need you to do a personal assessment. 1, are you at the concept stage? Do you have a concept, an idea on what you want to do and you haven't started? So if that's the case, your project or your program or your initiative is not market ready. So if it's not market ready, we need to know the kind of grants that you need to apply for, because there are grants for ideas, for concepts, and for startups. What is your profile? Yes, you need a grant. A grant is not just, they don't want to throw their money away. They need to know who they are giving the money to. What is your profile, especially in the field that you want to play? That is why volunteerism is very good. You build up your profile. You want to get involved in waste management or converting waste to energy, and you don't have a profile that suggests that you have done that. So you can build up your profile by volunteering. You could volunteer, and like we said, nobody asked you for how many years you have volunteered. So you could volunteer to do 1 or 2 things. You can even volunteer to be in your church, be one of those that handle the garbage. You have built a profile. You volunteer in the mosque to be one of those that receive people or something. And then you need a project document. It doesn't have to be sophisticated. It just has to show, this is what I want to do. This is the problem I've identified. And this is how I plan to do it. And this is the problem I have. This is the money I need to get this going. At that point, you have reached what we call the validation stage. You have been validated. There's a presence and there's a structure. At that point, your NGO or your initiative or your business should have been registered. You cannot be asking for a grant when all you have is an idea and you don't have a platform, you don't have an NGO or a business that is registered to push it forward. No, you are not validated at that point. If you have the money, a 1 or 2 page website is good, because the first thing that anybody does, they want to check you out now, is to see your web presence. Your project document can be uploaded onto the website, and that becomes the document that you need on your website. If possible, paste your picture, let your nice and good picture show. We live in a world where people want to see pictures. People are too lazy to read right now. So you need to mix your writing with the pictures to show you on your overall and the site doing one thing or the other. Or if you're working with the IDPs or the refugees, you visited the camps, you have volunteered to help, they need to see you doing something. And anybody who wants to give you money needs to see that you have a structure. What kind of structure do you have in place? Oh, I'm the CEO, and I have volunteers that are coming in, and this is how I want to do what I need to do. They are comfortable. So you might write a beautiful grant proposal, but if you don't have these, even though your proposal is well written and well presented, you might not get the grant. So let's look at the second location. The second location is the startup location, where you are ready to engage or where you have engaged, and all you need is that grant, that money to help you survive. In that case, you got the site, or you got the office, or you got the instruments, whatever you need, but you just need that money to help you move to the next stage. This is one of the best stages that they look at, which means that you have actually made some level of investment. And all you now need is some more investment to help push your idea, to push your startup to a level where it becomes productive. That is a level where you have put life into what you're doing. At that point, you will have been validated by moving from location 1 to location 2. And at that point, you can comfortably say that, look, what is holding me now is $100,000. If I have $100,000, I'm ready to go. I want to evaluate all the efforts and the things that I have put already into this. And I can say, if I evaluate them, my time, my energy, goodwill, land, or whatsoever, the research, my project document, I think I have put in $50,000. So I need an extra $50,000 to get this up in the air. I don't see why you wouldn't get the grant. Number 3 location is growth. If you look at the case with Lona, she was already growing. She had established traction. When you are growing, you have established traction where the tire meets the tarmac, you are already in motion. Funders are looking for you. People want to associate with progress. They are looking for how they can scale up what you're doing to a bigger level, to a bigger dimension. They are more comfortable now that, look, if I engage with you, I am going to make more impact. This is a very comfortable location to be in, but sometimes you cannot get to this location except you get a little money to move you forward. So you can apply for the little grants that will help you get to this level. And then once you are at this level, you apply for the bigger grants. So you may not need to go first for the big grants. You may need to go in stages. And the 4th location is where your initiative, your NGO, your business is already mature and expanding. you're already known in your area of specialty. And I'm going to explain this a little bit. You have to be known in your community. You have to be relevant in the community where you operate. If you operate with the IDPs, people need to know you and say, yes, we recognize his or her input or the input of this NGO with the IDPs or with the refugees. People need to see a track record of what you're doing. You need to attend conferences. You need to attend different seminars. You need to build your relationships, your network at this point. At this point, you are a bride. This is the easiest location to be to access grants. They're actually looking for people like you. They're actually looking for organizations like yours. Location number 4, you're mature, you're expanding. It was easier for Leona to get $495,000 US dollars than it was for her to get her first $6,000. So the question is, where do you belong out of this location? Where's your community? There are several communities where you need to belong. There's a major community that people seem to overlook, but if you look into that community, you will find your niche, the SDGs. All the goals you see there, apart from goal number 17, which is for partnerships, all have one level of problem to solve or the other. So if you don't have a community, go to the SDGs and identify the community where you want to belong. You hear about climate change all over the place. People talk about climate change and climate change impact, and people don't even sit down to wonder what is in it. What took me to climate change was the climate investment and finance. When I realized that climate change offered big opportunities for investment and for finance, I said, yes, this is an attraction. And when I began to preach climate change, I had to preach climate change from that background of climate change investment and finance. Or are you a young person and you're into innovation? Then bring it up. Bring the level up, raise the level up. That's your community, innovation. Read more about innovation and technology. Belong there. Go wide in it. You need to belong to a community. And then when you're in that community, what are the problems that are in that community that you're looking to solve? For example, Nigeria, people laugh and say Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. People say Nigeria has fallen into poverty. And nobody ever sits back to look at that. What does that mean? What that means is that because there are many more poverty-stricken people in Nigeria, the organizations that are looking at solving problems with poverty have identified Nigeria as the marketplace. So Nigeria all of a sudden became more visible for those who have money to address poverty. So what I will do is I will look at my NGO and see what segment of the poverty issue that I will address that will attract that funding from those organizations, both local and international, that are looking for poverty as a problem to make impact. So I don't engage in talking about it because people are talking about it. No. I sit back and I say, what are the opportunities here? 1, to make impact. 2, to create value. And then 3, to attract the funds that I need to grow my vision. This is climate change. There are various levels of climate change impact in Nigeria. You can see them. In the north, we have issues with desertification. The Chad has dried up. In the south, we have flood and the rest of it. Identify one component of this challenge and then develop it and have a solution. and you will find the grants that are out there to address the problem. Let me blow your mind. This is the kind of money that is in climate finance. $100 billion a year is the goal. And if you look on the right side, you'll see how much that has been spent already by the Green Climate Funds in Africa. And they are still willing to spend more. They come in different packages, grants, loans, subsidies, guarantees, and the rest of them. This was a turning point for me when I was looking at climate change for Nigeria, and the World Bank published that the national cost to address climate change adaptation is $142 billion. And it's expected to make a benefit of $304 billion between the time it was published and 2030. So what other business do you want to get involved in? There are several segments of climate change adaptation. You will need also to understand the differences, mitigation and adaptation. Now, there are several ways. Nigeria made a commitment to reduce emission, which comes under mitigation, and also decided on what are the strategies that will create jobs and create opportunities to be able to address the processes that will help them meet that mitigation target, and the processes that will help them for adaptation to deal with the challenges that are associated with climate change. For example, climate smart agriculture. Agriculture is not supposed to be labor intensive. It's not supposed to be so difficult and so hard to do. If you come up with innovation and technologies that will make agriculture faster, more productive, you will find the grants for it. If you come up with processes for reforestation to check the growing level of desertification, there's money for it. If you come up with different kinds of energy, can you imagine? The strategy is to generate 13,000 megawatts of power by 2030 through renewable sources. Sure, it might look difficult, but once you key in rightly, the funds are there. We talked about the SDG earlier. These are the goals. Look at the goals. Look at the poverty. Look at the hunger. Look at even gender equality. Look at education. They are all opportunities. The SDG was developed to assist our development. So if you key into any of these goals, and then beyond the goals, there are targets, and into the targets, you definitely find the grants that suits what you're doing. These are some of the grants. And there are more. There are thousands of grants more than this. So I hope you have learned something good about this. I hope you have understood how to appreciate the positive, even in a negative situation. The next class is going to start on Saturday. We've moved the date closer because there are many people who really want to do this on the weekend. We're going to have the weekend classes right now, starting on Saturday. So if you are originally scheduled to start on Monday, you are going to get notification that you're going to start on Saturday and Sunday. We also realize that most people are opening up, they are going to work, so we want to make it as comfortable as possible for the people. So I have an assignment for you. I want you to look for problems. Let me say it in Nigerian way. Look for trouble. Look for where there is trouble. Look for problems. And I need you to identify at least 2 problems that you want to solve. Identify at least 2 problems you want to solve, either as an NGO. If you don't have an NGO, let us know. We'll tell you how to go about it. Or as an individual, or as a business, or a CSO, or research. You want to research on something new, or you want to carry out a study, or innovation. I need 2 problems that you want to solve. So I am pasting a notice, wanted, a problem for my solution. There's a reward for that. So this class is going to take place on Saturday, June the 6th, 2020, and Sunday, June the 7th, 2020. Once you get into these classes, you will find how easy it is to identify the grants you need, to apply for the grants, to assess the grants, to manage the grants, and go through the cycle again to get bigger grants and bigger grants and bigger grants. So again, I want problems. There are problems looking for solutions. The platform will be open tonight for the submission of your assignments. The registrar of Ecologistics Masterclass, Mr. Mohammed Mahmoud, is going to post on the platform. He's going to open up a new platform and is going to allow you to post the submission of your assignments on that platform. Your first step towards assessing grants is to post these assignments. We need to do an assessment to see what problems you want to address. If the problems are not quite expedient for this time, we will get back to you and advise you on how to modify the problems. Now, this gives you an example of what happens. Within the last 1 week, we received over 50 notifications of grants. We receive notifications for grants every day. We received notification within the last 1 week on SDGs, on water, on research, on climate change, on scholarships, on fellowship, on women and children, girls, health, democracy, agri, COVID-19, different grants. And we receive grants that range from $1,000 to $1 million. Our job here is to help you to identify the category, to identify your community, to identify at what location you are and know how to apply for the grant that fits into your location. So in closing, I'm sure we are heading onto our destination. At the end of the day today, you will find that you're already engaged on the journey, you're on the train, and you need to sit comfortably on the train for us to take you to the different levels. So today, we did the mindset for exploring funding opportunities. In the next classes, we are going to do how to identify the grants that are suitable for you. We are also going to do how to apply for the grants. We are going to teach you how to apply for the grants. You can do it yourself. It's easy. Then we are going to teach you how to avoid the common mistakes that people make in assessing grants. Again, one of the mistakes is you do not understand where your location is. So if you are applying for grants as a mature enterprise, when you are actually a startup, that's a challenge. There are grants for startups, there are grants for ideas, there are grants for innovation. So we'll show you how to avoid those mistakes. And of course, we are not going to leave you alone. Once we go through this process, we are going to be giving you regular updates on grants that become available. We are also going to be helping you with your applications. We are also going to be able to help you if you need to enhance your capacity, not only for your grants, but for implementing your programs, your initiatives, or your projects. So again, the first class is starting Saturday, June the 6th, 2020 at 7 p.m. At 5 p.m., I'm sorry, West African time. And the second class, which will conclude this segment, will start on Sunday, June 7th, 2020, again at 5 p.m. I hope this has been very successful. We are going to take a few minutes to get one or few questions that you may have as we round up this program. So I hope this was worth it for you. Let's take a few questions. Something from this. I will be looking out for your assignments. Please submit your assignments so that I can respond to you as quick as possible so that we'll prepare you for the next class. I assure you that this is going to be one of the best decisions you ever took in your life. Again, my name is Dr. Paul Abolo. I am the Dean of the Ecologistics Masterclass. Uh, Mohammed Mahmoud is the registrar and he's going to keep in touch with you. And I wish you the best of luck in your endeavor. I wish you the best of luck in your NGO. I wish you the best of luck in your business and in whatever it is that you have planned to do. Take care and thank you very much.